Oh, perfect. So I'm just going to stop it to make sure it's... Oh, no, it's working. Lovely. Okay. Slowly see people ticking in.
Yeah, okay.
This takes a few minutes just to get everyone in. Hello, people joining.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, there's some names I recognise already, which is nice. Welcome. Hello. We just give it a few minutes for people to join before we start. I'm just going to check our settings and everything are working. What we do to check that things are working is if you want to pop in the chat where you're joining us from in the world, that's always nice for us to know. And it always checks us, helps us check that the settings are working as well. So let us know where in the world you are. I'm sure it'll be nicer than sunny. It's kind of overcast London.
It is a bit sunny, yeah, today.
But then we also have someone that's just down the road as well. There we go. Someone's in Bristol.
Bristol, yeah. Not far. Turkey.
Aladdin from Turkey, welcome. Turkey. I was lucky enough to be in Istanbul only a few weeks ago, and it actually rained while I was there, which was surprising. But we did have one lovely day on the Sunday, which was beautiful blue skies, which was lovely. So did get to enjoy it as well. Slowly people coming in. So can see in the chat we've got Aladdin from Bristol, Arwen's in Aladdin in Turkey, Arwen's in Bristol. Let us know where you're joining us from. Are we all in London at the moment? Katrien, are you in London as well?
No, today I'm in Belgium actually. So
lovely.
It's also slightly overcast, so I didn't do an upgrade. Oh, we have somebody from Thailand.
There we go.
Probably an upgrade.
Yeah, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, I know we spoke on email. So
hi, Chris. Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll get started anyway with some introductions, and I'll do a bit of a run through of what to expect from today. So hello everyone, my name is Charlotte Burton. I've spoken to some of you on email, which is lovely to see that you're here. I am the marketing manager for the School of Law here at Queen Mary, and my job is to provide lots of opportunities for you to find out a bit more about what it's like to study at Queen Mary, to help in your decision-making process if you're thinking about applying, if you've already applied, and to help you find out more information. Today's session is all about our wonderful Paris LLM programme, which is a fantastic opportunity that you'll find out a bit more about today with my colleagues. Before I pass over to them to introduce themselves, I'll just explain how the process will work. So we'll have a short presentation from Katrien and Angeliki, and then we'll go into a Q&A session at the end where we can answer any questions that you might have. Please feel free to use the Q&A or the chat function that we've got here on Zoom to ask questions. If there's something that's very specific, I will answer that as we go along. But if there's something that's a bit broader, I might save it for the Q&A at the end. So please feel free to ask questions as we go along, but please don't worry if I haven't answered it straight away. It might just be that I'm saving it for the end for everyone to benefit from the answer. Okay, and also just to add, this session is being recorded, so we will share it afterwards. So please don't worry if you miss something or you want us to repeat it, you'll be able to catch up on it afterwards as well. Okay, so without further ado, Katrien, should I pass over to you to introduce yourself, and then we'll go.
Thanks so much, Charlotte, for the introduction. So I'm Katrien Morbee. I'm the academic director for Paris LLM, sort of Queen Mary Paris LLM, together with Angeliki. I think we are sort of running the program on a day-to-day basis. Angeliki, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yes, thank you, Katrien. Thank you, Charlotte, for the introduction, Charlotte, for organizing the webinar today. As Katrien said, I am the program director for the LLM Paris and the program coordinator, not director, and work very closely with Katrien in having this program running, support the students, support the academics, and all the staff that they are coming to Paris. We're not only the two of us, it's a team behind us as well, but we are the first point of contact, Katrien for all the academic matters and me for the rest organizational admin side of the program. So I think, Katrien, if you
I'll share the slides.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, good. Again, feel free to drop questions in the chat, and I think Charlotte will, as always, brilliantly answer, or we'll wait until the end if it's easier. All right, this is us. We've introduced ourselves. Okay, so first, law at Queen Mary. We're established since 1980 by Sir Rory Good. We're in the center of London base, at least at the London campus, so the Center of Commercial Law Studies. We're obviously one of the best law schools in the world. We're also a Russell Group university, which means it's a particular British thing, but basically it means that all our teaching is research-led, so you'll be taught by the leading professionals and the leading academics in the field that you'll be studying. It's something we're very proud of and something that we really protect as well. We're one of the most international universities. It's one of the things that we also like about our job, some of the things that our students really like about our program. There's so many different universities. When you move on after this year, you'll have a couch to sort of sleep on everywhere in the world. So it's really a broad international network, and we're very proud of that. We're one of the largest LLM programs, which sort of relates to the fact that we're very international. We have students from over 80 countries. Both our research and the academics that teach it are part of that international community that you would be joining. All right, that's a bit about us. Our campus in Paris is very special to us. We're situated in the 7th arrondissement. So we're in walking distance from the Eiffel Tower, Musée d'Orsay, Musée Rodin, Hôtel des Invalides. When I was there last week, I had a view on the Eiffel Tower in my hotel room. So that was pretty good. It reminded me, after all those years, how special it is, our location. All right. This is just the map. You see how close we are to the Jardin des Tuileries, where you can sort of read a book and enjoy the French architecture and the sense of symmetry, and it's just a very nice place to be. All right, what about the academics? We have a few different types of LLM programs in Paris that you can join. I think the first one, the standard one, is our 1-year full-time LLM in Paris. It's very much it's designed based on our LLM in London, but with a bit of tweaks here and there to sort of accommodate Paris and accommodate the peculiarities that come with it. So it's a 1-year full-time. We work with intensive block teaching, which basically means that we'll have, instead of every week, an hour or 2 lectures, we'll just sort of bulk them together in 2 days this week, then 2 weeks later, and another 2 days, sort of on varying frequencies, but it'll be very intense block teaching. We'll do it in person. Before COVID, we didn't have to say that, but all our teaching will be on campus with our flying faculty from London, who will come in and teach you in English regarding a variety of topics. You can decide to do our general LLM in business and commercial law. If you do that, you can pick any course in the curriculum. You can also decide to specialize if you, for example, you want to get into a career in banking and finance or an IP, for example, you can decide to specialize. So you get an LLM in banking and finance, an LLM in IP, dispute resolution, technology, media, and telecommunications. If you do that, we will require you to sort of pick a certain amount of credits in that specialism, but we'll talk about that a bit later as well. Even though we're in Paris, our courses are entirely taught in English. Our faculty will talk to you in English. Your work will be done in English. So there's no French involved in that matter. We do, and that's a bit our French link, we do coordinate with the Paris Bar School, what they call the Projet Pédagogique Individuel. I should really practice my French. But it basically mean that you can spend, in the January semester, you can spend some time with us, write a dissertation, and it can be part of your pedagogic project in the bar school. It's something that we see a student really appreciate. So you get an LLM during your bar training, which it's quite a good thing to have. All right, so that's for our sort of general program. Then we have the Sorbonne Queen Mary double LLM, a program we're also very proud of. We launched it a few years ago. It's a bit longer, so it's 18 months. You start with us for a semester. You can only do it full time, but we get you in January, you study a semester with us, then you go to the Sorbonne, study a semester with them, and then you'll do an internship in the end, and that will be something that's overseen by the Sorbonne. The cool thing is that it's bilingual, so you get English education from us, French from the Sorbonne, and you get out of it with 2 LLMs, one from us, one from the Sorbonne. I think it's a great way for people who sort of want to get sort of both sides, both perspectives. On top of that, you also get a bit of a work experience. I think that is a plus that we increasingly see in the job market as well, where internships and job experience are quite important. So I think with this program, we very much cater to that as well. Okay, what is our teaching like? Intensive block teaching, as I say. So we won't be teaching sort of on a weekly basis, but we'll just have blocks, days where we will be teaching a few hours per day. That can be during the day. Sometimes we have evening classes where you'll have 5 days in the evening courses, sometimes on Saturdays, but that's occasionally. Fully in person, we've said this as well already, the modules are across the semester. We try to sort of balance it out a little bit, so not all your coursework is sort of just squeezed together in a particular period. We work with credits. It's a bit of a weird one, but it basically, per credit, you have 10 notional hours of teaching. That's lecture, reading preparation. We will expect you to prepare before class, so we'll send you readings, materials that you need to sort of work through before class. There'll be some self-study. We'll also organize revisions and obviously the assessment. I think one of the brilliant things is, and for me in Paris, what I like so much and why it has a special place in my heart is that we have such small group sizes in the LLM class in Paris this year. It's 30 to 40 students. In London, it's 200 students. It's amazing. We get to interact with all our students. We get to know all our students. Obviously, in London, we try to get that same experience, but it's still different. It's such a small group. It feels a bit like a family, which is fantastic. We have a flying faculty, which means that we come in and bring the experience from London to Paris. All right, LM structure. This might be a bit of a lot of details that, especially for those who are considering applying, might be a bit technical, but just for you to get a bit of an idea, LLM requires you to do 180 credits. You can do a dissertation of 30 credits, depending on what program you'll choose. That is compulsory. Models are 30 to 15 credits. So if you do the math, you can sort of puzzle your coursework around those metrics. If you decide to specialize, for example, in banking and finance, for example, in IP, we do require you that 90% of those are courses that are in that specialism. So if you decide to do an LLM in banking and finance, 90 of your credits will have to be in banking and finance courses. On top of that, you'll have to do a dissertation of 30 credits. It's up to you to specialize. If you have no idea yet, it's something that we don't expect you at this point to know already. When you come to Paris and you'll do the inductions, you'll have some time to make that decision as well. And we'll guide you through the advantages and I guess disadvantages of specializing. In any case, if you do specialize, you do get 60 credits that you can sort of pick and choose from different specialisms. Double LLM and the students affiliated with the bar school, it's a slightly different structure. They all start in January as well, but more or less the idea is the same, that you'll pick your courses accordingly. All right. We have a variety of things outside of sort of coursework. They vary year to year a little bit as well, depending on opportunities. I think what we've put on this slide is sort of an example of, I think, what is an initiative that we started and that we're particularly proud of, and that year in, year out we organize, and that's our critical thinking and writing in law workshops. It's basically, it comes from the idea that it's, as a lawyer, your tool, your instruments is the language. And I think academic English, writing in English is a very specific skill. And if you master that, it will set you up for a very good career in law. So with this, we basically want to teach you what it is like to write in academic English. We teach you how to do research. We teach you how to analyze information that you get and sort of critically assess it and think it through. Related to that, and that's a bit sort of to tie it to our program, is that we help you also, because these skills are obviously not only important in your future career, but also in your dissertation work. So we'll work a bit around that as well. How do you plan a dissertation? How do you structure the dissertation? How do you go about writing it? They're all things that sort of will help you set up for your future career. We'll do an oral presentation. There'll be some negotiation skills involved. It's not mandatory. In some specific cases, it might be, but as a general thing, it's not mandatory. But I think everybody tends to take it. We have such good feedback from it. It's such a useful thing for you to do. So I think most students take it either way. It's not credit bearing, so you can take it outside of those 180 credits, and we just offer it to you as a sort of added thing. This is just an example of things that we organize, but every year we do have opportunities that arise. We're in Paris with this program, which is also amazing because you get access to Paris. We've obviously have our own library in our building, the ULIB building. We have the QGIAS, which is the biggest law library in Europe, if I'm correct. You have the access to the Bibliothèque Nationale de France. And then obviously when you come to London, you can, I mean, you're fully enrolled Queen Mary students. We have access to all the facilities there as well. And most times, I think there is somebody on unmuted themselves. Yeah, great. So you're fully enrolled Queen Mary students, and every year I think students do come to London and you have full access to the facilities there as well. This is just a few examples. You're in Paris, there's so many facilities there that you can tap into and that our students enjoy. Beyond the classroom, and this is just a few examples of things that we're engaged in. We have a mentoring program that Angelique also coordinates. I don't know, Angelique, if you want to mention, to say something about it, a few words, but...
Yeah, can I say now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the Paris mentoring program is followed the path, let's say, of the London mentoring program that we have over, I don't know, we had over 200 applications this year, and we run it at least the last 4-5 years in Paris. It is a very highly appreciated extra, let's say, and we offer it to the students in order to get an understanding of the job market in Paris specifically, that if they're interested in getting, or get an understanding from experienced professionals with specific specialist expertise, that they share their background, their experience, the knowledge of the market as well as the place with the students. So it is a program that in Paris specifically, it runs. The duration is for 4 months. We started in usually around March, April, until the end of the classes, the end of the academic year, let's say in July. But so currently in Paris, there are 8 students participating in the mentoring program with 8 mentors that they have a specific knowledge in for Paris. But of course, we can discuss more about the mentoring program and how it works.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Angelique. Another sort of initiative, or I mean, I think it's probably an understatement to call it an initiative, but we have the Q Legal program, which is basically, it's an entire program in London, but also our parents, students participate, where we team you up with businesses, startups that need legal advice. We support you, we guide you, and it's basically for you. Students love it. But it's for you a way to gain some sort of practical experience of real cases. It can also be a way for you to network, to understand where you want to go with your career. I think it's a fantastic opportunity that is open to our parents, students as well. École de Guerre, we have a collaboration there where we tend to organize, we tend to participate in debates that they organize. And I mean, in general, you are a Queen Mary students, as I said, and all the extras and the support that we offer, career support, mentoring, counseling, etc. You're all entitled to that, and you've access to that. So we're very proud of that integration as well. Let me go. Okay, tuition fees. So our LLM in Paris, sort of the general LLM, we have a division between full-time, part-time. Also, Bonn Queen Mary LLM, it's always full-time. It always 18 months, hence also the slightly higher fee. For those who are interested, scholarships and funding opportunities are obviously available. We've posted the link online where you can find more information about them. Okay, just a summary of all the reasons why you should study with CCLS in Paris. You get a qualification from Queen Mary. you'll be taught by the academics who excel in the research and in the practice areas that we're teaching. We have a very diverse student body from all over the world. We can offer you small class sizes, which I think is the best part of the program. We really get to know our students very, very well. A strong alumni network in Paris. People that did our program tend to be very proud of it. So in Paris, but obviously the network in London is as well, is open to you as well. We try through events, etc. We build a network not amongst you as students, but also the lawyers and alumni. So we do invite alumni. We do invite practitioners to our events. We are a big university, and sort of all the support systems from Paris are also available for you in Paris. I think there's a catchy tagline in the end: same faculty, same quality, same qualification as in London, but in Paris. What else would you want? All right, I think this ends the presentation here. If there are any questions, you can either post them in the chat, raise your hand, or you can email us afterwards as well at ccsparis@queenmary.ac.uk. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Katrien.
Thank you, Katrien.
We've obviously done such a good job that no one's asked any
Mhm.
questions because we've been so clear, obviously.
We've been doing this for a few years, so questions have tended to be incorporated in the presentations. So maybe this will just show progress being made.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one which got a bit of type wrap around it. that just
Angelica, I'm
turns
just
the
going to mute you because we've got a bit of background noise from the
Okay, we have
office.
Cecilia there.
So Cecilia's asked about if there's an example timetable to see how the teaching blocks are organised. Also like to ask if the programme is taught as is possible to do an internship during it. If so, does the university help us in finding it? Okay, so 3 different questions there. I don't know if there is an example timetable. Angeliki, do you know if there is?
Sorry
Yeah,
for the
I mean,
noise. I'm in the office
That's
actually, so
okay.
there are other people here as well. So we can share maybe the timetable as it's organized this for this semester probably, and we can get an idea of how the things are. It is in a way, I will try to first of all to describe it. You will, depending on the modules that we will choose, you will have more or less every week of a month to do something in terms of the teaching, more or less. This is a very vague kind of explanation, but I have to share the timetable if you want to see something like that. But this is from this academic year, so we don't know how exactly it will be in the future.
Maybe to add there, I think sort of like Angeliki said, there's every week there'll be some teaching on. That's what your timetable will actually end up being. Also depends a bit on what models you choose. Obviously, you'll have the timetable available when you're picking your models, so you'll be able to see when the modules will be taught.
Perfect. And I would say, I think what's good about Paris is that it adds, because of the style of teaching, it adds that element of flexibility for students. So Cecilia, you've asked about if you could do an internship during it. I think there's cases that students have worked around their studies in the past.
So I think the answer is yes, but I think it is a bit more nuanced than that. Obviously, if you're doing an LLM full time, I think the practicalities of it might be a bit tricky. We have seen students do it. They tend to not do it in the first term, but then perhaps moving on or maybe towards the end of their degree. But that said, it is something that we could potentially support if we see it's possible with your full-time commitments at Queen Mary, and we are able to send to sign a convention de stage if necessary. always under the sort of pretext that you're able to fulfill your academic requirements at Queen Mary. So yes, but there are a bit of side notes there before we can actually approve an internship. The Sorbonne program, obviously, that has an internship per se. Regarding support for the internships, obviously there is the network, the alumni network, that you can tap into. For our Sorbonne program, it will be the Sorbonne who will guide you with internship. But in general, there is a bit of a network there that can help you secure an internship. But the initiative will obviously be from your side.
Yeah, exactly right. And the careers team that we have here based in
Yeah,
London, obviously available for Paris students as well.
And-
So all the guidance they provide you to be
And they're
given.
brilliant. They'll prepare your CV, they'll prepare you for interviews, etc. So, and they very much know, because we've had stories, students submitting 200 CVs and they didn't get back. And then it's very good to have a team there to sort of see, because obviously there's Queen Mary students, they have a good profile, but it's also the way you present it, it's the way to present yourself that will get you the job or not. So we are there to support you, and obviously we want you to be successful.
Yeah, and I think it's worth just highlighting that the careers team that we talk about a dedicated postgraduate law careers team. So
Yeah.
they're available just for postgraduate law students. Although there's obviously a wider Queen Mary careers team, we do have dedicated staff for law, which is quite unique. Okay, a few more questions come in now. How are exams assessed? Are they open or closed book? Or we have to go to a hall, etc.
This is very early days, but it varies, obviously from, I mean, sometimes it's writing an essay, so you don't have to go anywhere at all. Our exams are done online, so you don't have to go into a hall if that's a specific thing. Open and closed book, I mean, it varies depending on the course convener. Timed, yes, there will be a limited amount of time. We will sort of accommodate the fact that this is done online, so there will be a bit of there will be a window within which you can submit, so that if you have any technical issues, that shouldn't hinder your ability to submit your exam.
Yeah, may I add something here? Yeah, as Katrien said, yeah, there are different kinds of assessments and exams, essays, oral presentation. Maybe this is what we call final assessment exercises. That is a kind of exam, but is a different format. They are all online. But you have if you don't have a very good network, I mean internet connections and stuff, you can use the ULIP, the campus for taking the exams, to be there and to have access to the internet, to have access to the exam. So this is something, the things that we have considered for the students, so for you to have access to everything that you need and make sure that this will not be a disadvantage of you if you stay somewhere that you don't have a good connection or anything.
Yeah. Obviously, we do ensure that you are able to sit your exam independent on your living conditions, etc. Jose has a question that I think we've partly addressed already, but just so you know that I don't know what your definition is of morning, obviously, but I think most classes will run a little bit in the afternoon, like let's say 1 or 2. So if that is your definition, yes. Obviously, it will be for you to pick and choose your courses. So you can check the timetable, which is going to vary from year to year, and try to have as many courses as possible in the morning. But because we have this intensive block teaching, it's not that you'll have 1 hour of teaching, though mostly every day there will be 3 or 4 hours of teaching per day. We tend to not start at 6 in the morning, so you'll tend to run a bit into the afternoon.
Katrien, if you don't mind to stop sharing your slides, I can give an example of the timetable just
Yes,
very
good.
briefly, so you can get an idea how the things might look. So I need to find that.
Just while Angeliki gets it up, I've just going to pop in the chat. Someone's asked about, is there a WhatsApp or Facebook group for those that are studying in Paris this year? There isn't, but we do have a LinkedIn LLM Paris group, which I'll pop the link in the chat for everyone to have a look at. It's run entirely by our course reps that are based in Paris. So there's really nice content on there for stuff that they're getting up to, and also you can connect with them if you want to ask any questions. It's a nice space there, so I'll pop that in the chat now. Sorry, Angeliki.
Yeah, can you all see this? I mean, can you see this?
Yes,
This is an example of the timetable from back in 2023, for example, and it is to give you an idea how the things are organized. So you can see all these different colors indicate different modules, and it is the dates. This is October, for example, of 2023, and you have legal aspects of international finance on the 2nd, and then the 3rd of October from 2 to 6, and then you can see it again on 30th and 31st of October. So it depending on the module or how the credits of the module, if it's 15 or 30 credits, which means that 15 credits is 15 hours of teaching, 30 credits is 30 hours of teaching. We try to arrange the classes accordingly, and have some days or 4-5 days in 1 month, and the 4 days on the next month. So it depends really on the length of the module, I mean the credits of the module, and we try to organize it with some difference between the first part of the teaching and the and the second part. So yes, you can see different colors, as I said, different modules across the whole month. This is the same, for example, November, as you can see there, is again the same. You can see different modules at different times. Some of them are arranged to be taught in the morning for 3 or 4 hours. Some others, they arranged to be taught in the early afternoon, or yeah, we have some classes, for example, at 5 till 8. So it really depends on the modules that you are taking. And here again, December and January, this is the assessment period. And so it's very, in a way, it's very complicated to explain through a webinar how exactly this is organized, but just to give you an idea about what block teaching means.
Thank you, Angeliki. That's
I will
helpful to
stop
see
sharing.
that there.
Yeah, yeah.
So a couple of questions in the chat. One I can answer very quickly. So Abhishek has asked, does the LLM hold the same QS ranking value as in London? Yes. So anything that we're ranked in London, it equates to Paris as well. There's not a separate ranking for it. Even though you are in Paris, you're still having a Queen Mary degree. You still have Queen Mary University of London on your degree certificate, and you're just taking the program in Paris. So all rankings are exactly the same for what we have in London to Paris. There's another question in there about, which I think is a slight confusion. So Chris has asked about module selection for TMT. So you're right that he said, I heard you can only select around 3 to 4 modules per semester. That's probably about right, because we advise you to spread your modules across the semesters, because otherwise if you had all your credits in your first semester, you wouldn't have much to do in your second semester, and it would be a lot to manage. So we always advise you spread them out. So that's right. So you would choose modules in the semester for the TMT specialization for first semester and your second semester. Where you've put, and that they're an online based course, we do have a distance learning TMT program. So I think perhaps there's a bit of confusion with that, which is like an entirely different program, or is that different, Angeliki?
It's not exactly a confusion. Some modules of the distance learning, technology, media and telecommunication program are offered in the Paris program. This is a very limited selection of modules across the year. and there is a limited availability. I mean, I think only 30 credits can be taken as learning for the specialism of TMT in Paris. These are something that we discuss with the students because it's a totally different arrangement of teaching. We at the beginning of in the induction period, you will have all the information for those modules that they are available as a distance learning, and they are available to you in the Paris program, and you can take them as part of your specialism.
Perfect. I've learned something new today. So helpful for me as well. Okay, so the last question we've got in here is kind of related, I suppose, to what we were saying about internships earlier. About for a part-time LLM, is it possible to take an internship along the program?
I mean, the fact that it's part-time means that you'll be doing something on the side. So yes, so we often have people that not only do an internship, but they actually have a job. So yes, that is exactly why we have a part-time LLM program.
Okay, perfect. We've got through those questions rather well. Please feel free to pop any more questions in the chat. I think it's always nice also to highlight kind of students where they're from this year. We've got a right mixture, haven't we, Angeliki, in the current cohort?
Oh, yes, there are students all over. I mean, I'm trying to remember now. It's Brazil, it's Germany. We have students from Mexico, if I'm not wrong, Lebanon as well, Ireland, quite a lot. We have Turkey, yes, Austria, China,
Paris.
I mean, it's Paris, Seoul, sorry, it's South Korea. So there, and we can keep on saying, I mean, every of different
English
kinds
as
of
well.
English as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very diverse, although it's a smaller group in a way in comparison to London, that is 800, 900 students. It's always been and still is very, very diverse group of students in Paris.
Yeah. And Chris has asked if there's been Thai students before. I can't remember if there has been.
No.
I don't think so.
But we're very keen to have Thai speakers. So
yes,
you'd be good for our map.
Chris, you can be the first. You can be the pioneer of the Thai students come to Paris.
Yeah, we'd be very happy to have you. And it was actually, was it last year was the first Chinese students that we had? So last year or the year before?
Possibly, yeah.
I'm sure they were
I
the
think it
first
was the
ones.
last year. Yeah, the first Chinese students coming to Paris.
Yeah. So we're spreading the map out always further and further. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, and we've been very efficient, I think we can close up early and give everyone some time back. So just to say a very big thank you to everyone for joining us today. Katrien, Angeliki, thank you so much for your time and talking about the Paris programme. If anyone has any questions at all, please feel free to get in touch to the CCLS Paris at qmul.ac.uk email address. Angeliki is there, or if you've got the PG law inquiries inbox, you'll come through to me as well. And we're always very happy to answer questions about Paris. And we are hoping, I am planning to host a student panel webinar for Paris in the next few months if we can. So please keep an eye on your inbox, and we'll try and get some students on here as well to talk about their experience, which is always really nice to hear it from them that they're doing it at the time as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everyone. Wishing you a lovely day.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.